Craft Dragon 5 touched down safely at Eden Interplanetary Spaceport. And I'm happy to report that everything has gone according to plan. The water mines continue to draw ample moisture from the soil. Food grows and grazes in the agricultural biomes. And more importantly than anything, those who arrived here as refugees have begun to become citizens. What they left behind on Earth in terms of creature comforts is more than made up for in their ability to dream, their newfound capacity to imagine a future beyond.
Okay, I'm skipping this intro bit because I want to get to the meaty parts. You see, this seems like a good essay. I just wanna get to the meat, though.
Elon Musk is something of a lightning rod for popular opinion, at least online anyway. To his supporters,
shouts out to my Oi bros, by the way. You guys are doing it big, okay? I love you.
He's a continual source of inspiration, a real-life Tony Stark. Not only is he a successful entrepreneur, but an innovator whose swagger is matched only by his unending ambition to make real technologies which previously were the reserve of science fiction. To his detractors, he's a point of ridicule. Someone who seeks to take credit for the work of his engineers and who often proposes solutions to problems for which better, more workable solutions.
Yeah, like a one-way tunnel where you can only drive Teslas 35 miles down the line, down that tunnel. Kind of seems like, I don't know, a little bit stupider than making, better use of said tunnels in the forms of getting a train cart, for example, and maybe putting it on rails. I don't know. That would be...
already exist. A great deal has thus been written and said about Elon Musk. On this website, for instance, Oliver Thorne of PhilosophyTube has provided a great examination of how Musk tries to present himself as a kind of countercultural figure, whilst in truth being pretty much the archetypical capitalist in how he runs his companies. In this video, I want to take a different approach. For
dead naming ? Was she out at that point? I don't know how to do that. British doing dead naming kind of sus. No, I don't know how. Yeah, it's an old video. I don't think she had come out, chat. Yeah. You just said philosophy tube. That's not dead naming. No. You don't understand. Like, I don't even know how to appropriately and like adequately. The rule is to still refer to them as their chosen name unless they say something. No. This is before that anyway. Chat. This is before. This is an old video. This is from 2020, and Abigail had not come out yet. So calm the fuck down before you jump down someone's throat so quickly. Okay? But I also don't know what the adequate way, like, do you not point to older videos then? You know what I mean? Chat is so rabbit. Oh, yeah, no, it's fine. Chat is just like trying to find something to be annoyed at. But I also don't know. I don't know how you would normally. I don't know how you would normally show like an older video of someone like PhilosophyTube who has incredible work, pre gender confirmation. Abigail said herself to treat her old videos as her playing a character. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Who are you talking about? So the person that Tom Nicholas pointed to is a friend of the show, PhilosophyTube. She is a trans bread tuber, YouTube content creator. She does a lot of these like essays, and they're wonderful. And basically, before they had a huge profile on the internet as a YouTube essayist before they came out as a trans woman. So it's always like I don't know what the appropriate way to point to like an older video anyway. But yeah, no, this video came out in 2020. Abigail didn't come out until 2021. So obviously, like, there's nothing wrong here with what that it just addressed the dead name while watching the video. Oh, okay. So you will just say like in a situation like that, you would normally say like, okay, philosophy tube, this is an older video where she's playing a character or something, right? Here's Abigail's take on her. In light of recent news, folks have asked whether I'm comfortable with them sharing pre-transition episodes of Philosophy Tube about Amy Coney Barrett. I guess we'll just have to rigidly apply the original meaning, even if the facts have changed. Lol. For real, though, I'm cool with people watching old videos, but please don't do it where I might see the walking, talking corpse that used to present the show. Creeps me out. Oh, okay. When you say this video, some chatters don't know, you mean the Elon video? Anyway, you can just always say Abigail all the time, even refer all the time ever, referring to her pre-transition. Yeah, no, I know. Okay, I get that. Anyway, let's continue.
I don't think that those who hang on Musk's every word have simply been duped. I think that there are ways in which Musk is fairly distinct from the other entrepreneurial figures which surround him. And this distinction lies in his unashamed belief in the future. Tech entrepreneurs in particular often talk about disruption. They regularly try to position the various products that they're bringing to the market as having the potential to completely change the way we live. This lofty rhetoric, however, is soon undercut.
Time doesn't matter. Use people's names. You're wrong, Azan. That's like parents not respecting trans people's names because they used to have a different name. So you say Abigail playing a character, not her dead name? Dude, extreme experiment. Take a deep breath. Calm down. Reflect yourself really quickly. Sorry to say this, but you are behaving in a hysterical capacity right now because you're fundamentally misunderstanding the situation at hand. Not only did I not say anything or dead name someone, okay? I asked what the appropriate thing would be in that situation, got an answer for it, but also this person that's doing this video would have to have had precognitive capabilities to know that Philosophy Tube was a trans woman, because Philosophy Tube at that point had not come out. Okay? I don't think you're upset at people for not knowing the future, not being able to predict the future, right? Because that would be fucking insane. And I don't think you're a fucking insane person. Perhaps maybe a little angry right now for no reason. Okay?
When it turns out that what they're actually trying to sell us is a microwave that connects to the internet or something similarly mundane. Whatever questions we might raise about Elon Musk's specific proposals for the future, and I will raise a few towards the end of this video, they're at least genuinely pretty bold. One might argue, for instance, that the underground roads that he wants to build as part of his Loop project would likely have less impact on congestion and on efforts to combat the climate crisis than simply laying on a few extra buses or metro trains each hour. Nevertheless, the idea of boring a web of roads under a city is, at the very least, genuinely ambitious. Well, I'll talk a little bit about what I think some of the potential social, economic, and political ramifications of the individual projects, which comprise what I'm going to refer to as Muskian futurism, are towards the end of this video. What I want to focus on, for the most part, is why Musk's vision resonates with so many people. If you're a Musk fan yourself, then you'll likely have your own specific reasons for admiring the man, and I don't want to take those away from you. But I do want to ask more broadly what it is about our contemporary moment and the recent past that makes Musk feel to many like such a breath of fresh air. I want to ask what societal desires Musk's invitations to imagine bold futures respond to. Frequent viewers of my channel will not be surprised to learn that doing so is going to involve a bit of a history lesson and a ramble through changing perceptions of the future from the early
Tesla tunnels with some idiot capitalists would come up instead of Metro because Metro is socialism. Yes, every part of Silicon Valley, if you guys have not understood this so far, every part of the tech bubble, especially in Silicon Valley, has basically been deregulation to the already limited amount of regulation that a capitalist bourgeois government would even apply to most industry. That kind of deregulation being sold as disruption. Uber, for example, is considered disruptive technology, right? Well, what has Uber done? It's basically cut out any kind of regulatory forces that would ensure that, like, people that are picking you up and taking you from point A to point B have some level of protection, or as workers, and also they have to abide by certain rules so that they're not fucking murdering you. It's not like innovative. It's not innovative technology. It's simply just a way to cut out the prior industry that came before it that is still, unfortunately, abiding by certain levels of regulation. Okay? Now, also, there is still like issues with taxi licenses and medallions and whatnot, right? But that doesn't change the reality of what Uber is doing. Yeah, it's not even deregulation. It's sidestepping the law with innovation. Exactly. They don't. It's the same. And you see examples of this where they'll be like, "Oh, we have a disruptive new technology that's going to eliminate the need for like a market," and it's basically a vending machine. You know what I mean? You're like selling a vending machine, but when you slap on the disruptive sticker onto it, like every fucking nerd comes in their pants when they hear that. Oh, it's so disruptive. Oh, it's like, dude, it's literally a vending machine. You are describing a vending machine. It's not disruptive.
20th century to the present day. I hope you'll stick with it though, because understanding how we got to where we are now and how people's relationship to the idea of the future has evolved over time
and
is,
Elon Musk is no different,
essential for gaining a fully contextualized understanding of exactly what Elon Musk is offering us and why our culture has, for the most part, so enthusiastically embraced his futuristic dreams. While many of Elon Musk's ambitious visions for the future remain at concept stage, there's one thing for which we have to give him some credit: the popularization of the electric car.
Dude, that's a pretty bad take. Pre-Uber, there was very limited ability to use any tech to request a ride. You had to sit on a curb. No, you're... Wait, why did you time him out? What the fuck? He's still a smarmy little shit. I don't know why you timed them out. Pre-Uber, there was very limited ability to use any tech request to ride. You had to sit on a curb and pray a cab would roll by. It's true. This is right. Or call in and schedule a ride in advance. Agreed that they've turned into a horrible capitalist deregulatory behemoth, but they start was something truly new. No, it wasn't. First of all, there was a disruptive new technology. It's called a fucking phone. And also, technology that combines the cab company, the pre-existing cab companies, with an application like that would have actually been the disruptive technology. But the real disruptive technology is what the real disruptive technology in that circumstance is basically allowing random people to be able to drive you around. Back in the day, this used to be called in Turkey, it's called korsan, pirate cabs. Okay, and that literally used to be illegal in many places in Turkey and in many other places. Like it used to be illegal to just fucking pick someone up and like drive them around. Do you know why? Part of it is because obviously they were in the pocket of big taxi. Okay, certainly. I understand that. But the other reason was because there's no regulation. There's no regulation around who gets to pick who up. You know what I mean? Pirate taxis. I love my country. I was such good homies with like 3 pirates a few years ago. Like taxi medallions are a problem, certainly. Okay, but what you need to recognize is that like there needs to be some level of control over who gets to drive you around. Otherwise, you get into a lot of issues. Otherwise, you'll run into a lot of issues with God knows who driving you around. If you've ever been in a fucking Uber where the dude is like straight up on his fucking phone, like, swiping right on Tinder and like trying to set up a booty call going, 75 miles on a 35, you'll know what I mean, And obviously cab drivers are fucking crazy too, but at least there's like one level of additional layer of protection in that situation. Before Uber, you had to call a cab and pay at least $30. Now with Uber, you use an app and pay at least $30. Yeah. Airbnb is a great example, right? Airbnb, another great example, absolutely eviscerated the housing market. It was just an application that allowed you to, again, sidestep prior zoning, like prior regulations that made it so that you couldn't just like randomly fucking purchase a bunch of properties and then use them as like short-term rental units. Okay, I prefer being able to order an Uber in minutes for a fraction of the price. I like the amenities that Uber offers. What I don't like is how Uber is offering said amenities. They're doing it, but the people that are paying the costs are the drivers themselves. And they would not do it unless they were incredibly desperate. So the more desperate a working class becomes, the more servile they become, and the more you can take advantage of said working class. Uber is a great example of this.
2019 paper summarizing a study into consumer perceptions of electric vehicles, Zoe Long et al. Wrote that several participants explained that Tesla changed their perceptions that electric cars are slow, ugly, have limited range, and not fun to drive. Several participants noted that Tesla is cool, and that owning one communicates a symbolic message to others. As recently as a decade ago, electric cars were seen as pretty lame. Their quietness and eco-credentials were the antithesis of the kind of vehicles that were fetishized in the Fast and Furious franchise, or in games such as Gran Turismo, Forza, and Grand Theft Auto. Tesla's interventions in the market, however, have changed all of this. Electric cars are now not only more widely available, they're also seen as pretty cool. Of course, neither Elon Musk nor Tesla invented the electric vehicle. Their success lies in having changed the popular perception of an already existing technology. And in this, Musk has more than a little in common with the original automobile entrepreneur, Henry Ford. Similarly to Musk, Henry Ford did not invent the car. Cars had been sold commercially for more than a decade prior to the founding of the Ford Motor Company in 1903. Early automobiles, however, were expensive, hard to come by, and often highly unreliable. It was only with the launch of the Ford Model T in 1908 that the motor car became the middle class's preferred means of transport.
Henry Ford and Elon Musk, just advocates for a different way of organizing, just actually, I don't know. I don't want to say that Elon Musk is an apartheid fan. Okay. I'm not going to say that, but his family, his dad, at least, certainly took advantage of the lack of protections afforded to black people in the countries that he operated in. So there's that. Henry Ford also is very famously pro apartheid, before apartheid. I mean, he kind of was like big guy, loved pamphlets, loved giving pamphlets to people about Jewish people, and also, wasn't exactly, he was a big fan of Hitler. Or sorry, Hitler was a big fan of him.
Transportation. The Model T was not only more reliable, but quicker and cheaper to produce, thus meaning that there were more of them available and that they were cheaper to buy. While innovations in the internal engineering of the car likely also played a role, most of this was made possible by the Ford company's innovations in the process of manufacture. Ford used machines to ensure consistency across parts, and rather than having one highly skilled technician assemble the pieces together, broke the assembly process down into individual tasks, which could each be performed by a worker who only needed to be trained in that specific task. This method of manufacture would come to be known as the Fordist model of production, and would...
It's pretty funny because, so this was actually disruptive. Like, that is real disruption. That's real innovation, okay? Straight up. That was incredibly important, okay? Profoundly important. However, okay. However, having said that, famously, people always love whitewashing Henry Ford's history and acting like he was really good to his workers, and he did offer some amenities.